Hello, everybody. Joe Begadones here, and welcome back for another episode of Tsukihime Remake, where last time we left off, Noelle kind of had a little bit of her Joker moment there. You know, she's been having some minor ones, just little flare-ups here and there, but kind of went full, I don't know. Mask off seems like the wrong word. Like, yes, it is kind of applicable here, but more like she committed to the bit, you know. I just decided, like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm having the full mental breakdown. Might as well go all in. You know, shit's already fucked. Not like it can get any worse. Even though it totally can, but, what's the point? If it's never gonna get better, why not just make it worse? Because at least then there's some control. You have the reins, even though you're the one driving this horse right off the cliff, but you feel better about it because you're the one steering. I don't know. It's a very cornered mindset to be in. So she's still an issue. We're gonna have to fucking put her down like a mad dog. So only feel a little bad about it because as a professional failure adult myself, I can sympathize with her. I really do. But leaning into me being a failure adult, I was supposed to record this yesterday. I didn't. I wasn't feeling bad or anything. I just decided not to. I was playing Civ 6 and got a little distracted. And then once that was done, I'm like, all right, let me go eat dinner. Then I ate dinner, and I'm like, I need to grind up some levels on my Pokemans in Pokemon Yellow, because I'm still trying to complete that dex. Get that whole 151, which is possible in Gen 1. You just need to use the trainer fly glitch, which that's the only glitch I'm using. I'm not doing any skips. I'm not doing, like, missing no item duplication to get infinite rare candies and master balls. Like, other than catching Pokemon that are literally impossible to catch in that game due to its restrictions, that's the only time I'm using the trainer fly glitch to get them. If there's Pokemon available later, or something like that you can also get, I'm not doing it for them. Anyway, now that I've defended myself for my 30-year-old gaming crimes, I really got nothing else, so you guys are lucky. You get a short ramble this time, or unlucky, depending on how some of you view it. Some of the hardcore capital G gamers in the Discord, which link in the description down below, say they like my 10-minute long rants. It's almost like a mini podcast at the beginning of the episode before it starts, which I am either flattered or appalled at your terrible taste. One or the other. It's kind of hard to differentiate the two. Or maybe there's a bit of an overlap there, a little bit of Venn diagram, Like, something's so horrific that you can't help but, like, stand back and appreciate it from a distance as a whole and be like, oh, even if it is, like, absolutely horrific, credit where credit's due. And that's me with some of your opinions and your taste. But please support me anyway by liking this video and ringing that bell and subscribing. And I should be close to the point where I'll be able to do the whatever it is. It's kind of like the new thing. Not followers, supporters. I'm actually opening up Google Studio to see what it is. Memberships, that's what it is. Where you can give me money. Give me monies. Even though I don't have enough to get ad revenue. Which, if you want to, that's cool. I'm only 5 subscribers away from that, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. But that's more of like a streamer thing, I think, because it's like, yeah, memberships, supers, shopping if I had, like, custom apparel, which, ew, no. I say, but who knows, maybe 15 years down the road I'll still be doing this and it'll have my own little media empire, which can't really say how I'd feel about that so far in the future, whether that's a bad end for me, like, oh, my life has gone so far off the track, I'm shilling displates or something on my YouTube channel. And at that point, I don't know, I'd probably make like brain rot, like Coco Melon videos or something just to get ad revenue if I'm that far down the rabbit hole. But only you can prevent that bad timeline by liking and subscribing right now and giving me money. Or just joining the Discord so you can talk me out of it in real time. That'd be cool too. Anyway, yeah. One last thing before we start is I got lucky. I got lucky this week. I basically got the whole week off work. Caveat. I'm covering this weekend again. But I'm a different level of coverage this weekend. This time I'm the supervisor coverage, which means I only need to go in when they need me. But it also means I get the next day off, and then I'm working like the Friday into the Saturday. Like regular shift for that. And then I go onto my standby shift. So I'm really only working one day this week, which big score, definitely need after getting dunked on all weekend. So hold your heads up, stiff upper lip, chin up, like stern face, don't cry when anyone can see you. Because if you look cool and tough and unfazed by the pain of life, people will think you're really cool, and they'll give you more opportunities to get more days off because you're such a go-getter and you get things done. Just don't let it get to the point where you break down internally and you're falling apart, but people don't know that. It's okay that you can raise your hand and be like, I need a breather. Get someone else for this weekend. But not me. I'm built different, so I don't need that. Anyway, you know who else is built different? Tonoshiki. His eyes and his head and his soul are fucked. What's up? What's up, dude? A hot summer day. Huge fluffy clouds cover the blue sky. The air shimmers with heat, and the keening of cicadas eats at me. The cries of the cicadas. When the cicadas cry, you could say, screech, 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 screech. Yep, the cicadas sure are screeching. So loud I wish I were dead. Cicada husks are scattered around. Feels as if the beating sun is right on top of us. Burning, sizzling, scorching the clearing. A hot midsummer day. It's as if the world has warped into one massive frying pan. Sobbing, child crying noises. The key is crying. The child is on the ground next to her. He lies deathly still, his white shirt stained a deep red. I gaze down at them. My hands drip with the same shade of red. No, that's not right. My hands are soaked in his blood. That's what it is. In other words, I've always been a murderer, even since I was a child. I see a sunless garden. I feel the flowers blooming by the pale moonlight. High above, a porcelain visage blots out the cosmos. At the convergence of the spheres stands a creature of virgin white. Her mind untouched by language, her own will a stranger, her only purpose the deliverance of death. Drenched in blood, yet not a scratch upon her, for it is her kin's lifeblood that stains her dress crimson. To spill it is her only freedom. Now that her work is done, she has fallen like a star back to the earth, to be sealed again within the heart's castle. I mean, within the castle's heart. That other way didn't make any sense. There, she will fall into a deep sleep, which she may be awoken, but cannot wake. But for now, ignorant of that fate, she gazes with faraway eyes at the distant moon. In her continuance, I saw eternity. Or did I? Did I really? Perhaps I simply imagined it. Not that it matters. Truth or illusion, it is the same. Her figure will remain seared into my eyeballs long after I am dead. A phantom flower, a mote of living starlight unparalleled on this earth. I thought to pluck that star for my own. Death cannot part a bride and groom equal in immortality. So I would forge a wedding band of blood, an unending chain of fate to transcend the carnage that we would wreak on one another. I knew full well that I condemned myself to hell. For in accepting this closed circle, I forsook my dream of infinity. I awake from a long slumber. As soon as I realize that I'm in my room, I put my glasses back on. Someone must have left the window open. I can hear the chirping of birds from the garden outside. A cool breeze brushes my cheek. Faint sunlight filters through my eyelids. It's another peaceful morning. Heaving myself out of bed, I glance at the date and the time. It's Friday, 7 in the morning. I'm feeling far from my best. My body is lethargic, feverish. Yesterday's tumultuous series of events is taking its toll. Hey man, I get it. On those long days where I have to work the entire day straight, and then I have to work late, and then I come home and it's like 7 o'clock. Like, I'd be lying. It's just how I am. When I get exhausted like that, I'm like a actual toddler where I get feverish. Like, my cheeks will go flush, and I'll be like hot. But you just deal with it, because unlike a toddler, I can go to my fridge and crack open a cold beer and sit down on my computer and just drink it and like cool down. Merely taking a deep breath makes me want to throw up. This isn't anemia, though. It's discomfort born from hunger. Nausea grips me like a vice, so there's something toxic lodged in my guts. That was also kind of me yesterday. I've been readjusting my diet once again. I'm still keeping it low calorie, but I got a new shaker bottle, which means I can go back on that Slim Fast stuff where you just add it to some milk and shake it up, and it's only like 200 calories, kind of like a meal replacement like that. Obviously not having that for all 3 meals, but the increase in high amounts of lactose into my diet, even though I'm not lactose intolerant, has been having some rebalancing issues in my gut biome. So that's something I've been dealing with. Also, I'm back on my Metamucil grind of having like at least 2 big scoopfuls of that a day. It's just good for you in general. Get on that old man grind set. A maid enters the room. I read that really strange because I have a frog in my throat that I'm trying to get dislodged, but it didn't. Coffee, save me. Also, I won't say it's a bad thing, but because I don't have any like audio monitoring from this new microphone, if I bump it, I can't tell if it gets picked up on on the microphone like the old one did. Like right there, I just bumped it with my controller when I leaned over for my coffee cup. No idea if that got picked up because I wasn't looking at the waveforms, but if it did, sorry. Surprise ripples across her face as she sees me. She must have expected me to be asleep.
おはようございます。お目覚めになられていたのですね、四季様。
Her faintest gesture makes me bristle. I'm not quite sure why.
おはよう。朝食だろ。わかっている。
Damn, someone's prickly this morning.
すぐに行くから出て行ってくれ。着替えるんだ、これから。
Don't be mean to Hisui like that.
それでは、食堂でお待ちしております。
Not feeling well is no excuse for being a grouch.
って何やってんだ俺。
I should know better than to take my bad mood out on other people.
それにしても。
I feel awful. My body feels like it's teetering on the edge of a precipice. That must be why I snapped. There's no way I'll be able to focus on my schoolwork like this. Though it's not quite reason enough to call an absent either. Nah, that seems like a pretty good reason to call in absent, like, I'm in a fugue state, I can't go to school. Though I feel too sick to think straight. I'm certain there's some reason I need to go there. I breathe in deep to take my mind off the hollow unease sitting in the pit of my stomach. After taking a moment to steady myself, this dizziness is turning out to be real pain, actually. I leave my room. Did that say a real pain, or just like real pain? To be a real pain. Okay. I polish off a flavorless breakfast, then head to the parlor to make my customary appearance. Oh yeah, we were late for curfew last night. The mistress of the mansion is visibly peeved. She clearly doesn't intend to lighten up until I make some concessions first. But while I've made an effort to ignore her charms until now, this prickly attitude is endearing in its own way. A rose is only more beautiful for its thorns. Yes, it's called Gap Moe, we know. I suppose in this case it's not really Gap, because she is the prickly, stern, aristocratic girl, and she's just playing, cards dealt to her perfectly.
兄さんも今朝はそれなりですね。昨夜は夜更かしをしていたようですが。
Oh, I get it. That's why she's keeping up the angry act. This is all about intimidating me into maintaining Tono propriety. Though it's a heavy burden for such youthful shoulders, her performance as mistress of the household is flawless.
門限を1時間破ったことは謝るよ。今朝もだけど、ここのところ具合が悪くて、ちょっと公園で休んでいたんだ。
Responsibilities and obligations that you have to act out even if you don't really care that much. I have to do it at work. Kind of crack the whip occasionally to keep my youngins in line.
そういう時は連絡をするようにと言ったはずです。すぐに迎えを出しますから。
Now, he's like me. He'd rather die on the side of the road than call anybody and potentially inconvenience them. Even though it wouldn't inconvenience them in the slightest, you feel like it might, so that way you don't. And you just end up, a corpse on the side of the road.
それで、
But at least you didn't,
体の具
bother
合が
someone when
悪
they
いと
were
いう
busy.
のはどのくらいなんですか？
食欲がない程度だ。しばらくすれば良くなるから心配しないでいい。何？
大丈夫なんですか？顔色が悪いようですし、気分が優れないのでしたら、今日はお休みになった方が。
God, you're such a fucking nag. Get off my back.
いいよ、明日から休みなんだし、今日ぐらいは乗り切るさ。いいから自分のことに気を使いなさい。俺なんかよりお前の方が毎日働いているんだから。
Well, yeah, but she gets to suck some titties at the end of the day and you don't, so it makes her feel better.
私は職務というか、当主としての義務というか。
義務で家計が回せるなら破産する家はないだろう。遠野の家を存続させることがどれほどの大仕事か、部外者ながら分かってるつもりだよ。
There you go.
休みの日なら俺も力になれるから、何かあったら言ってくれ。
Finally, some acknowledgement for the hard work she does behind the scenes.
いえ、いいものでも食べたんですか？
A little out of character.
それとも何かとんでもない悪さをしたので、発覚する前に善行を積んで根回しをしているとか。
お前、実の兄を何だと思ってるんだ。
Yes. You'd like to scheme, even though you're not very good at it.
昨日までは学校以外のことで忙しかっただけで、今日からは心を入れ替えて遠野家の長男らしく務めるさ。ほら、のんびりしてる暇はないだろ。時間いい加減やばいんじゃないか。
Yeah, don't you have an hour commute to school? The clock is pushing 7:20 a.m. Akia might go to school by car, but I'm pretty sure she has to leave closer to 7.
そうですね。それでは
She can be
お
a little
先に
late.
失礼します。
Going to, what was the name of her school? Asagami Girls Academy? Something like that.
兄さん、先ほどの提案ですが、喜んで受けさせていただきます。日曜日の午後に兄さんの歓迎会を開きますから、開けておいてくださいね。
We'll see. We'll see. There's pretty girls out there, you know, more developed than you that require attention. So if they need us that day, we're gonna have to take a rain check. She leaves the parlor, cool to the last. And a single strand of her sleek black hair is out of place. It's hard not to be entranced by her elegance. Frankly, I'm appalled at myself. How could I have ignored such a treasure all this time? Oh no, he's turning into the doting older brother. Let's hope that's all it is, because we're not on the far side routes yet. I leave the mansion and head to school. My limbs still feel stiff as I descend the hill, like I'm piloting someone else's body.
Nice! Ohayo-san!
A familiar face greets me as I enter the classroom. My friend is nothing if not a truant, but on the days he actually comes in, he arrives with plenty of time to spare. He does live nearby, so maybe that's part of it. But I suspect he's just not the kind of guy to do things by halves.
おはよう、遠野くん。
Yumiduka!
久しぶりだね。
There's a face we haven't seen in a while.
あれ弓塚さん。そういえばしばらくぶり。何日か休んでいたけど、風邪か何か？
Yeah, you were out for like over a week.
ちょっと
You
怪我
eat
しちゃっ
something off the
て。
floor?
大事には至らなかったんだけど、お父さんが心配性でね。例の通り魔事件の犯人が捕まるまで休んでいなさいって。
Oh, you know, sprained your ankle. I walk a long way to school. Just couldn't make the trip.
それは何より。
You know, couldn't
で
run
も
away. The
捕まっ
killer
て
was
ないよ
after.
な、犯人。
ああ、ここ数日ニュースもねえし、逃げたか隠れたかしてるんじゃねえの？
いつまでも休めないし、事件も途絶えたでしょ。それでお父さんもしぶしぶな顔で学校に行きなさいって。
But how are you here? Now that's good to hear. I deliberately avoid probing her about her injury. Judging by her father's overprotectiveness, I can more or less guess what happened. Just as Shikitono has survived ordeals she knows nothing about, she may have endured similar hardships.
と、退屈な一日の始まりだ。じゃあな、遠野、また昼休みに。
My friend returns to his seat as the homeroom bell rings. Huh. My other classmate just stands there, staring at me.
どうしたの、弓塚さん。机戻らないの？それとも、
Smooth? Smooth?
俺の机で一緒に授業。
嬉しいけど遠慮します。今日はおかしなこと言うんだね、遠
Yeah,
野
you
くん。
seem too... You kind of have
私が
like this
休んでい
cold,
る時に
detached
何かあった？
vibe to you. You know, a bit of a harder edge than you normally have.
別に何も。弓塚さんの方こそ
Not
変じゃない
quite。bad boy, but you know what I mean.
私はいいんだよ、病み上がりですから。でもやっぱりちょっと似てるかも。
Yeah, of course I'm him. I've always been him.
似てるって俺のこと？
休む前、
Been flipping
遠野くんっ
bricks
ぽい
from
人を見かけて
Matsumosa.
ね。声をかけてみたら全然違う人で慌て
I
て逃
fucked
げ
up
出し
that
たんだ。
Dracula flow quote. Leave me alone. It's too early in the morning. Mm-hmm.
後になって思い返すと、なんで遠野くんっぽいと思ったのか不思議だったんだけど、
だったんだけど。
今朝遠野くんを見たときに、あれ、やっぱり似てたって思っちゃった。きっと歩き方とかそういうのが似てたんだよね。
Got that goofy gait. Seemingly satisfied, she returns to her desk.
歩き方ね。
That must have been the same afternoon I murdered her. Before wandering through the town in a daze. Perhaps it really was me. But no, she said she called out to him, so it couldn't have been. I would have remembered a classmate trying to talk to me.
何にせよ、弓塚さんが教室にいるのはいいよな。ほっとする。
The girls' group is a lot louder now, but I can indulge them that. With a final lingering glance at Yumizuka's plump, succulent Chinese meal figure, I return to my seat and prepare for another exciting day of my school career. To my disappointment, there was little excitement to be had today. What you expect, a circus? My friend scoffed at my grumbling during lunch, and now I have to admit he had a point. On a whim, I take a detour through the schoolyard on my way to the gate. The sports fields are empty. Clubs have been suspended, so the school building is virtually deserted now that classes are over. The sun sinks below the distant horizon. Apparently, I'm the only one bored enough to hang out around after school hours with nothing to do. The schoolyard is flooded with crimson light. My stomach churns at the sight. The illusion of blood-soaked earth reminds me of the horrors of the last few days. Red everywhere. A red cityscape. A red treatment plant. A stone chapel furnished with a carpet of human flesh. Ew. The pleasant squishiness underfoot, like treading on virgin snow.
いた。
My consciousness flickers as pain pulses behind my eyeballs. Ooh, that's one of the bad headaches. I'm wearing my glasses, but still my headache persists. Why? Oh, my head is splitting. Why? My head, why? Is splitting. Why? Have you had any water to drink today, dude? If I start getting headaches, that's usually it. It's because I think back and I'm like, oh, I haven't had any water for like a day and a half. After a short while, the pain subsides. I'm lucky no one else is around at this hour. If there had been someone, anyone at all, I could have satisfied myself. But there wasn't. That's good.
帰るか。まだここに用はないし。
Yeah, we'll just ignore those vampiric urges. I exhale the air pooled in my lungs. Massaging my dry throat, I leave the blood-red schoolyard behind. It's not blood-soaked yet. That only happens at the end battle. Hauling my languid body back home is a labor in and of itself. My limbs are still as stiff as they were this morning. This calls for a more radical approach. I need to find someone soon. Tonight, even. Uh-oh. That's not good.
ただいま。
Gawaku, better watch yourself.
翡翠？
I return to the mansion to find Hisui engaged in some kind of housework. She's carrying an unfamiliar chair into the lobby. I wonder if we're redecorating. Oh god, we were already here at this scene. As soon as she notices me, she trots up to me with muted footsteps. It's like watching a small bird blithely approach a hungry cat. She's so oblivious it's maddening. It's a good thing I know the value of moderation. A less restrained hunter would have snapped her up in a heartbeat.
お帰りなさいませ、四季様。お帰りに気づかず、申し訳ありません。
Oh, from bad to worse. Does she insist on putting that waxy nape of hers on display like that?
いいよ。たまにはそういうこともあ
I
る
don't
だろ
know
うし。
about waxy. I'm not
それよ
sure
り
I'd
何？
really want to sink my
模様替え？
teeth into something described as waxy. That seems like you just get like a coating in your mouth. That's not very pleasant.
はい。遊戯室の椅子を新しいものに変えましたので、古い方を椅子の少ない部屋に移動させるよう、秋葉様から。
Replacing the chairs in a room you guys don't even use. Sure.
そっか。
What
琥
a
珀さんはいる？
valid use of money and resources.
姉さんは外に出ているところです。ご用でしたら後ほど、お部屋の方に2人で伺わせていただきますが。
For?
いや、それならいいんだ。
Or
自
just
分で
because
で
you
きるか
look
ら。
sick as shit?
喉が渇いてるんで、食堂にあるお茶一式使わせてもらっていいかな。
はい。トレイに乗っているものなら問題ないと思います。
そっか。仕事中呼び止めて悪かったね。
Also, no need for you to offer to make us some tea. I know it's your job, but you're awful at it. My God. I thank her and head to the dining room. Like, I'll eat your horrific cooking, but like oversteeped tea is basically poison, and I'm not a big fan of it, and that's where I'll draw the line. There, I quench my thirst before returning to the lobby. The tray boasted quite the assortment of green tea and tea biscuits, so I ended up spending longer than intended. Now then. Doesn't seem like the maids have finished their duties yet, so I might as well head to my room until dinner. Pain shoots through my knee. I look down to find that chair from before. It's tucked carefully out of the way against the wall. If I'd been looking where I was going, I would have seen it.
参ったな。こんなのに気がつかないほど疲れてるのか。
I heave a heavy sigh. Why would someone leave a chair in the lobby? There's no point. There are too many of them here anyway. Why put another one down? Can't she see that all this clutter is unsightly? No taste whatsoever, that girl. Doesn't know her place. Totally useless. Fuck. Not to top it all off, my knee's still aching. I didn't need to feel this pain. I wouldn't have if it wasn't for this chair. It's ruined my perfectly good mood. Finally had some precious free time, and now it's wasted on this one stupid maid's thoughtless mistake. I give the chair the kick it deserves. Rob, yeah, with your... I was actually gonna say, with his no shoes on, but this is a Western-style house, and... Do they actually wear shoes in the Tono estate, or do they, like, throw on indoor slippers? Oh, that only makes my leg hurt more. Throb, 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 throb.
こいつ。
How dare it get in my way? It grates on my nerves like sandpaper. This chair is an eyesore. This chair, 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 this chair.
四季様。
あれ、翡翠。
Ooh, what's up?
どうしたんだ。いきなりそんなところにいて。
Surprise overcomes me before I finish speaking. Oh, my breathing is ragged. My chest is heaving. I feel like I've just run a few dozen kilometers.
あれ。なんでこんな息が上がってるんだろう。
Ooh, must be having like a little bit of a fever going on or something. I raise my chin to open up my airway.
四季様。何をおっしゃっているのですか。
何って。翡翠こそどうしたんだよ。そんな不安そうな顔して。
Yeah, what's got you so spooked, huh?
何かあったのか。
What, is the house creaking again? You know, big old wooden house like this.
四季様。
It is getting cold.
ご自分が何をなさっていたのか。わかっ。
何をしてるかって。俺は別に何も。
Another wave of pain crashes over me. I shake my head to clear it, and see for the first time what's lying on the floor around me. It's smashed to splinters, almost beyond recognition. just about identifiable as the remains of a chair. Thump, 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 thump. He's like, ah, my fucking foot! My heart pounds like a jackhammer.
これ俺が
はい。四季様が椅子を持って床に何度も叩きつけた結果です。
Hopefully at least it did it on a carpeted part, so that way he didn't like ding up this nice hardwood floor. What is that? Is that teak? Is that mahogany? Whatever it is, it's beautiful. I love old hardwood. It's why when I look at houses to buy around here, I always try to go for like 1920 and earlier. And then I get severely disappointed when I look in them and see that there's been like horrific renovations done in like the 70s or something. And like all the hardwood is ripped out and it's got like wood paneling on the sides of the walls. And like, ugh. But then you see some amazing ones. Like there was one I was looking at. I want to say it was like 1903 build. I'm pretty sure I talked about it before, but the kitchen is horrific. It's like all yellow tile, but the floor, the ceilings, and the walls are all tiled. It's awful. But then you go upstairs, beautiful seafoam green tiling. The tub is that same color, the sink is that color, but it's not just seafoam green. It's got white and black tiles in there too, you know, kind of like the diamonds enclosed in two horizontal lines, like going across the wall, like the black and white diamonds, that kind of thing, but the rest of them are that seafoam green. I think that's a beautiful bathroom, and it has hardwood. It's obviously not as nice looking as these ones. I would have to take a sander to like the top level and revarnish them to get a really nice color. But if I had the money, which I currently don't, and also the housing market is jacked right now, so I would never want to buy at this current moment. It's definitely a seller's market. I would snap that place up in a heartbeat. It's a beautiful home. Just needs a little bit of work. For a second, I think my heart has stopped. My temperature plummets. My brain freezes over with the cracking of ice. I look down at my hands in shock. Right into imprints from gripping the chair's legs stare back at me. I don't understand. My own actions make no sense to me. This isn't something I would do. Sure, I remember bumping my leg. I remember the pain. But why would I throw such a childish, destructive tantrum over something so trivial?
四季様、ご気分が優れないのですか?
Clearly not.
体調が悪いのでしたら、
Bro
お医
is
者
not
様を
doing
お呼び
well.
いたしますが。
I know that look. I saw it many times, long ago, in the hospital. It's the expression people wear when they're looking at something abnormal.
違う。なんでもない。なんでもないんだ。ごめん、翡翠。
He says, clearly not fine.
俺、どうかしてる。
I leave the little bird behind, along with the wreckage of the dismembered chair.
四季様、落ち着いてください。そんなに息を乱しては、お体に触ります。
いいんだ、ほっといてくれ。一人になりたい
He
んだ。
says, just getting more
一人
agitated.
にさせてくれ。
Yeah, there's nothing people who are like in a bit of a freak out state love hearing more than someone telling them to calm down. Which you're not wrong, Hisui. It's just you need to phrase it right. I bound up the stairs before we even finish. Almost like I'm running away. Part of me notes dryly. To be fair, I'd run away too if I did something like that. I shut my door and tumble into bed. Under my duvet, I'm cut off from the outside world. Oh, it's happening again. This twinging in my temples just won't go away. Throb, throb. My headache pulses over and over, like a second heart beating in my skull. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It has to be the pain. It has to be this pain that's made me so strangely short-tempered. looking at the lines so often over the past couple of days must have fried my brain. For now, I'll just have to ride it out. As long as I keep my glasses on, I don't think it'll get worse.
そうだ。これはいつもの頭痛だ。すぐに落ち着け。ただ痛いだけのいつも通りの頭痛なんだ。
What else could it be? Quiet now. Stay quiet and it'll go away. There. All back to normal. My room is deathly still. The only sound is the ticking of the clock. It's very soothing. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Very, very soothing. Tickety-tock. Okay, could you shut up for a second? Hey, I'm talking to you. I told you. Shut up! Ah, sweet silence. I had to do that. Not quite so violently the other night, but I do have an analog alarm clock with like the bells and the hammer on the top. That I don't know if it just like got stuck, like the mechanism, or if the batteries are starting to go in it, but it was like ticking really loud, like louder than it normally does. Normally it's such like a quiet kind of just tick 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 that you can barely hear it, especially over with my ceiling fan running. But last night it was just going. So I just had to like pick it up and like slam it against the wall until it like fixed itself. And then it started doing it again, so I just took out the batteries and chucked it into the corner of the room. Not like against the wall or onto the floor like I was like celebrating a touchdown. I have like I don't want to say like a pile of boxes over there. It's kind of like just like my storage corner, which okay, maybe it is just a pile of boxes, but it's not that bad. It's just kind of like the storage part of my closet where I took the boxes out, but I haven't slid them all back in. I just kind of tossed it into that corner, and it's still there. I should probably put those boxes away though at some point. Ah, sweet silence.
よし、静かになった。
No one will disturb me here. If my head won't stop bothering me, I'll just go to sleep. Once I close my eyes, the darkness of night will come. And once night comes, I can forget everything. That'll do for now, won't it? It's all over anyway.
ああ、そうか。そういえばも
There are no more vampires prowling the streets. No more monsters to fight. No more nightmares hunting me down. No more churchwoman to offend my eyes. All is well. With a heavy sigh, I let myself fall into a deep sleep. I must be hearing things. I wake to the sounds of people screaming. It's past midnight. My stomach is berating me for going to bed without dinner. But it's not as though I can cook myself, so I'll have to head outside and see what I can find. Oh, can cook himself? Like, he should be able to cook, or at least go raid the fridge and just eat ingredients. You know, just to take a big old bag of carrots out of the fridge and just chomp on those. Drink a bunch of water and go to sleep. Incidentally, when we talk about eating, we're really conflating two different things. There's eating for pleasure, which requires time and effort. And then there's eating for sustenance, which can be done efficiently. It's the latter I'm interested in tonight. In my current lethargic state, I have no energy to waste. But instead, I end up watching dinner unfold from afar.
死んでる。
お願い、私だけは殺さないで。ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
Owie! Their bones! From atop a building, I watched the bodies writhe. I see. She's only taken 6 victims for now, but 6 of the dead will soon become exponentially more. She's making a game of it. It's like watching a predator toy with its prey, savoring their suffering to feed its sadism. Yet, more evidence than common rabble. Evidence? Evidence. Yeah, it is evidence. Yet more evidence that common rabble cannot be trusted with this kind of power. Invariably, they get carried away, devouring all the quarry in sight when a single meal would do. I look down at my own hands. Is the way we feed righteous or wicked? Can we be permitted to take the time to savor our meal? To eat not for survival, but for pleasure? Of course we can. It is the responsibility of the hunted to defend themselves from the hunter. So decrees the law of nature. Is it the slaughter of other creatures that defines a beast of prey? The reliance on other species for sustenance? If so, dead apostles are not the ultimate predator. Humanity is. A species which compensates for its natural weakness through technological and cultural advancement. A true ancestor would put it thus. Ultimately, it is humanity who will claim the greatest prey of all, the Earth itself. However, the ultimate predator is not necessarily the strongest. It is simply the species with the most optimized methods. While human beings excel as a species, they are laughably weak as individuals. Moreover, they are plagued by a synthetic evil, their dependence on consuming every other form of life to survive. They cannot help but prey on others, indiscriminate of their victim's intelligence or biological similarity. So to commend the slaughter underway as a deplorable act of malice would be arrogant in the extreme. If anyone is at fault here, it is the dead. They who lived in ignorance of their predator status, and so failed to act in their own defense. You're wrong. You'd never say that if you knew what it was like to be weak. Preach all you like to your own kind, but leave us out of it.
助けて助けて助けて
Why you all hanging out in like a weird back alley anyway?
なんで
It's an invigorating spectacle, but I've had enough for tonight. Nothing quite ruins the appetite like unsolicited opinions on one's diet and etiquette, least of all from one's own body. The aroma lingering in the air is enough to satisfy my stomach for now. It's like walking by a kebab shop at like 3 a.m. when you're drunk as shit in Germany. It's like, yeah, that's good. But I gotta go back to my room and sleep, otherwise I'll throw up. Can't handle all that spicy garlic sauce on a boozy stomach. I should get back to my room before I wake up. On my way home, I stopped to look at the sky. The moon looms so large it could fall from the heavens at any moment. I thought I curbed my appetite for tonight, but still my throat yearns for a fine vintage.
よう、そろそろ目は覚めたか、バルダムよ。
What? Oh, you got the wrong guy. A woman would be nice. There's an exquisite specimen in the mansion, but I hesitate to lay my hands on her. Not that the thought of preying on my own family gives me pause. Rather, my self-preservation instincts warn me that it'd be the last thing I ever do. I'll save her for last. But on second thought, perhaps I should claim her now, while my metamorphosis remains undetected, while I can still catch her by surprise.
上出来だ。一縷の望みにかけた甲斐があった。 てめえは電波情報のガンだ。回線がつながっている肉体なら、
Oh god, Rose transmitting himself through the 5G towers. The government's in on it, man. We gotta shut it down.
今までの資料に目を通して分かったよ。てめえはできれば転生なんざしたくねえのさ。失われるものが多すぎるからな。
Yeah, squish him early, force him to jump, and then, anticipate where he's gonna jump, then, cut him off before he even has a chance to, fully reawaken. I think it was your plan? It's kind of hard to tell, Mario.
だから、まだその時代に残れる術があるのなら、そっちにかけると信じてたぜ。
Kind of stupid because you think you're so smart. Like, unironically, the, God, was that from Gundam? The, haha, I'm a genius! And then, oh no! Consider the following. Suppose someone named A can steal others' life force. And they steal it from someone named B. The relationship may resemble that of a vampire and a human, but it is fundamentally different. A treats life force like currency. While B is alive, A has unrestricted access to their bank account, their vitality. Although this benefits A alone, it is a codependent relationship.
これは今までのてめえにはできなかったことだ。ま、偶然のなせる奇跡ってやつだな。
I know how Shiki and Shiki are tied. They're kind of like life stitched together because Makihisa fuckery.
たまたま転生した先のガキに吸血鬼じみた異能があり、その犠牲者がしつこく生き残りやがった。悲惨な話だがね。この町には一心同体の人手なしが2人もいたことになる。
Yeah, two little peas in a pod. They actually get along surprisingly well, when they're not trying to kill each other. A in this example is the original Shiki Tono, scion of ancient beings peculiar to this land. Peculiar? Peculiar. I would have said like particular, but I guess peculiar is also right. When the maddening in his blood began to manifest, he was disposed of by his father, but secretly had access to a secondary source of life force in B, that is, in Shiki Tono, his family's adopted son of a similar name. Consequently, Shiki A survived his brush with death, while Shiki B died, his bank account drained by Shiki A. This is not the end, however. The situation was complicated by external factors that brought Shiki B back to life.
だが、そのおかげで俺も薄皮一枚で首がつながった。大公社は本国に帰投させた。真相も俺が抑える。てめえは安心して目を覚ませ。その後ゆっくり不老の秘術について取引しようじゃないか。
Your dear old dad really wants to know about fucking vampirism. Shiki B was taken to a hospital where his life was saved by surgery. Rather, where he was preserved on the brink of death. A vampire of the Western breed would have granted him their blood, and with it, a long life as their minion. But their Eastern counterparts are different. Through some unknown art, they can bring a human back from the dead, their humanity intact, without a drop of blood. How fascinating. Small and remote this island may be, it is for that very reason that the ancient mystics linger here in such abundance. And among them, this clan, a relic from times of yore. Even if vampires had never appeared in Soya, its downfall wouldn't have been far off. It's been so long. 8 years, in fact, since I last set foot in this house. Nah, we're good. Man, that was day 11. Went by real quick, huh? In any case, there's a dead end hidden in day 11 from when we go back and we get our flu shot or whatever from Iraq. We choose the big old turkey baster needle. Somehow that gives us a dead end there. I guess it's kind of like in Arcuit's route, you know, where Shiki wasn't feeling well and he just went to school and like died. I'd imagine something close to that will happen again. So I'll intersplice a cut of that somewhere. I don't know if I'll do it like right here before we move on to day 12 or right at the end of the video, but I'll go back and do it so we can get credit for that dead end. I'll probably do it at the end of the video. I bolt upright. My body is sheathed in sweat. Whatever I was dreaming about can't have been good. Odd. I don't remember having any nightmares. If anything, I feel like I slept deeper than I have in ages. Then you probably just had a fever, but you were like so passed out you couldn't roll around, so you just like slow cooked under the blanket and like in your own body heat. Because at least if you can toss and turn, you can kind of like air out and get on parts of the mattress and pillow that aren't, 105 degrees. But you're just sitting there, like in a slow cooker for 8 hours straight, just sweating. It's like I've been under for a whole day. I had something like that happen to me when I was a kid. Like I was 8 or whatever, sleeping up at my grandparents' house, and I had a fever. And I woke up in the morning and the bed was drenched. Like an unbelievable amount of sweat. Like my grandma thought I fucking pissed the bed. But then she's like, well, it's up on the pillows, it's down by your feet, it's spread out everywhere. Like this would have to be like someone dumped a bucket across the entire bed. And I don't think, an 8-year-old, pissing the bed could do this much. Like you were sweating out like 5 pounds of water that night. That was crazy. I don't think I've ever had anything like that ever happen again. And the weird thing was, I didn't feel like deathly ill or anything. I just kind of woke up and I'm like, yeah, I got a fever. And, I don't feel particularly well, but it wasn't like I was puking my guts out. It wasn't like I was collapsing because my brain was cooking in my skull from how high my fever was. Now it was just a regular fever. But whatever it was during the night, man, must have been brutal. Good thing I was asleep for it. Anyway, where were we? I'm glad I didn't wake up to any unpleasant sights, but I'm amazed I fell asleep like that. I must have been really out of sorts if I forgot to take them off. Actually, I prefer not to think about what happened in the lobby. I'd better tell Akia about the chair myself. I don't want Hisui to get in trouble. Oh, there's a knock at the door. A rather reserved one, I note, before a familiar figure enters the room.
おはようございます、四季様。昨夜はよくお眠りになられましたでしょうか。
Iffy sleep. Hisui greets me with a deep bow. She doesn't seem to bear any ill will over yesterday's episode. It's her job not to, of course, but I still appreciate the sentiment.
ああ、おはよう、翡翠。それと、昨日はごめん。
Yeah, I was a bit of a crab.
椅子を壊したことは俺からアキハに謝るから、翡翠は知らなかったことにしてくれ。
かしこまりました。ですが、椅子の件でしたら姉さんが内密に処理してくれましたので、
Yep, let sleeping dogs lie.
アキハ
Don't
様
even
へ
tell
の
her.
報告はなくともよろしいかと存じます。
It's not like Akia is personally keeping account of every single piece of furniture in the entire building.
琥珀さんが
I feel guilty hiding things from Akia, but better than accidentally getting Hisui in trouble. At least, that's what I tell
わ
myself.
かった。俺もそういうことにしておくよ。ありがとう、翡翠。琥珀さんにもお礼を言っておいてくれ。
はい。四季様にそう言っていただけるのなら、姉さんも喜ぶと思います。それより、四季様。
No.
今日は何曜日だか。
No,
お分
it's,
かりで
it's
しょう
day
か。
12. 12? 12? But the actual day of the week. Well, yesterday, yesterday in quotation marks was Friday, so today should be Saturday. Well, the clock shows it's Monday, a little past 7 in the morning. I don't don't get why she's asking me something so obvious.
月曜日だけど、それが？
失礼いたしました。私の思い違いだったようです。それでは制服に着替え次第、食堂
Yeah,
の
it's
方
almost
へ
like
おいで
you
ください。
slept through the whole weekend. Hisui lays a freshly pressed school uniform on my desk and leaves the room in silence.
制服に着替えないとな。
I pull myself together and get out of bed. As I change out of my pajamas and into my uniform, I spot my knife lying on the desk. I've kept this memento of my father in my pocket ever since receiving it. But I doubt I'll have reason to use it again.
そっか。
Again. Oh god, my voice fucking died in my throat on that one.
全部。
My time with Ciel, my time with Arcuid, Law and all the vampire hunting business. I've woken up one day to find it's all come to an end. School doesn't hold the same appeal, knowing Ciel won't be there. But ultimately, I'm just going back to my old life. I haven't lost anything that I had more than a few days ago. Everything that matters is right where I left it, waiting for me. I suppose that was Ciel's parting gift.
よし。
When I frame it like that, I don't feel like Ciel's departure will break me. I'll never forget her, but I'm strong enough to carry on without her. If I keep telling myself that, day after day, maybe eventually it'll become true. I stow the knife in a drawer and leave my room. Time to face the day. School isn't gonna wait around for me. "7:45 a.m. Time of day when the streets are overflowing with school-bound students. A few faces look bleary with sleep, but in general the mood is bright. The end of the recent string of bizarre events has taken the weight off everyone's mind. Still don't feel like I belong here, somehow. That's due in part to knowing the truth behind the murders, but it's mostly because of the cold reality the sight of the school reminds me of. No matter how hard I try to put a positive spin on it, Ciel isn't coming back. I know it's pathetic how hung up on her I am, but that's just...
え？
Wait. Surely I'm dreaming. I must be, right? But I, of all people, could never mistake her, even from behind. Oh god, Shiki's one of those guys who can, differentiate women by their hips alone. No, it's her. It's really her. It's Ciel, heading to school as if nothing had ever happened.
先輩！
I let out a cry and run towards her. She must have known I was there all along, but she turns around as though she just noticed me for the first time.
おや、遠野くん。おはようございます。
Yeah, someone's feeling energetic this morning.
今朝はいつになく元気いっぱいですね。
はい、おはようございます。ってそうじゃなくて、3度目。こういうの3度目です。先輩、帰ったんじゃないんですか？
Yeah, a guy's heart can't take all this playing around. Either come or go. Make a choice.
その予定でしたけど、
Like in and out
当
through
面
the
仕
same
事が
door.
ないようなので残らせていただきました。それにちゃんと卒業までいると約束しましたし、私が遠野くんを置いて帰るわけないじゃないですか。
I'm not gonna leave you behind. A faint smile accompanies those
それは。
はい、何ですか？
その言葉通りの意味として受け取って
Yeah,
いい
she's
でしょうか？
teleworking for the foreseeable future.
はい、遠野くんの想像にお任せします。
Her gentle smile widens as she nods. I'm too choked up to speak. This might be the happiest moment of my life, or rather, the most grateful I've ever felt to be alive. If my self-control faltered for a second, I'd throw my arms around her. Even now, I feel the fire in my chest growing. If we weren't in public, there's no telling what I might have done.
先輩
I grab her hand.
それじゃあもう本当にどこにも行かないんですね
Good middle ground, you know. Not too explicit PDA that your classmates won't spread around the school like wildfire.
ずっとこのまま学校にいるんですよね
ですね、ずっと学校にいたらおばあさんになっちゃいます。私は3年生なんですから、あと4ヶ月で卒業です。
そうでしたすみませんでも昨日みたいにいきなり帰るなんてことはなく
Yeah,
て
you won't get
ちゃんと
random
話は
work
でき
calls
るんで
like
すよ
me
ね
telling me to fly halfway around the world on a 6-hour notice.
もちろんですとも。初子貫徹はいい言葉です。
God, it
こうなったら最後までお付き合いしますよ、遠野くん。
This year's been kind of ass about that. At least they didn't literally send me to Brazil this year. I might have had to, but they gave that to someone else. Not even someone at my work, just an entirely different base got that mission. Which, whew, thank God. A huge sigh of relief escapes my lips. My body is raring to run a dozen laps around the sports field, but my heart, overcome with a deeper sense of peace, convinces me otherwise. I'm so happy I could cry. I weren't afraid of letting a single drop of joy go to waste. I've never even realized I could feel this way.
思いのほか落ち着いていますね、遠野くん。実のところ、ちょっと驚かせようと思わないことはなかったのですが。
Like, sure, you gave a little bit of an outburst, but we were hoping for something more dramatic here. So she did know what she was doing. Ah, that mean streak of hers is rearing its head again.
嬉しすぎてバカになりそうですけど自制ぐらいできるんですそれにほら心のどこかでまた驚かされるんだろうなって気はしてましたから
Anything for the bit. It's all about bits, baby. I can only hope my expression conveys some of the bliss I feel.
そうですか。それは日頃の行いがたたってしまったと反省すべきところでしょうか。
Yeah, you know, the public perception is that you're emotionally manipulating bully, so maybe work on that. Ciel averts her gaze in embarrassment.
そろそろ朝礼の時間ですね。遠野くん、そろそろ行かないと遅刻しちゃいます。
そうだねそれじゃあ先輩また休み時間に
Waving goodbye to Ciel, I set off towards the school building. I sprint all the way to the classroom, a grin plastered on my face the entire time. Notice kind of skipping, swinging his bag in one hand, humming a little tune. First period passes at a snail's pace. There is a 10-minute break before the next class. Can't wait until lunch. I know I'm getting too worked up, but there ain't no breaks on this train. Time to head to the third-year classrooms. I won't be able to function unless I see Ciel's face.
あれ？どこかに行っちゃうんですか、遠野くん。
Came here to see you. This random encounter has my head spinning. I reached the stairs to find Ciel already coming down, though.
いえ先輩を探しに行こうと飛び出したというかいつも待ってるばかりだからたまにはこっちから行こうと思ったんです
Little clingy, but, you know, you guys are still fresh in this, so that's allowed.
嬉しいですけど、遠野くん、私のクラスを知らないでしょ？ 3年の B クラスですから、覚えておいてくださいね。
Oof.
なんでしょう、その沈黙。
Is that silence because you already knew, or because you didn't know, and you're like, oh fuck, I would have just gone up there and made a fool of myself?
何か不名誉な指摘を受けている気がしますが。
いや茶道部の部費でお茶飲んでるだけじゃなくてよかったなと感心
I mean, that's what I thought too, but...
分かってましたけど
はい、なんとか授業についていってます。って遠野くん、私のことをそんな風に思ってたんですか？
Well, yeah, you could just mesmerize everyone to be like, yeah, I was here, mark me present, and yeah, I turned in my assignments. Give me an A. Now I've done it. Though to be honest, the thought has crossed my mind.
すみません。あまりに先輩が神出鬼没なんで、よからぬ想像する時もなくはありませんでした。先輩の耳には届いてないだろうけど、1、2年の間じゃ楽しい噂話もあるし。
ほほう、よからぬ想像とはど
I
の
mean,
よ
she
う
does
な
have the ability to teleport. Because if I remember right, in the very beginning of Tsukihime Original, you are forced to meet Ciel. It's just when you're going to school, it's either you go to the backyard and she's there fixing the fence with her little dinky hammer. But if you choose to ignore it and just walk to class normal, all of a sudden she's up on like the second floor hanging out the window being like, hey, what's up, Tono? What's good? It's like, wait a minute. Like, you in two places at once, or do you just like run up there real quick when you noticed he wasn't gonna come check out the noise in the school's backyard?
授業にいないのにいるように見えたりとか、実は何人にも分身できたりとか、いくらなんでも万能すぎるし、実は学校を裏で牛耳ってるんじゃないとか。まあ諸説
Yeah,
いろい
multiple
ろ。
places at once.
トーナ君はそう思っていたんですか。
I sense danger. Her warm rapport has frozen over in an instant. Tread carefully. Poor judgment might cost me my life. I mean, the clones only appear in Kagetsu
分
Toya.
身くらいはできるでしょう。
Yeah.
忍者にだってできるんだし、カレーあんなに食べてるんだし。
Don't know what that has to do with anything, but
失礼、つい体が先にブレてしまいました。それより忍者とカレーは何の関係もありませんよね。
was seeing double there for a second. Are there really two?
はい、ないですね、そういえば。根拠のない噂話をしてすみません。
Yeah, save the boxing for a certain blondie. You two can knock each other out all you want. Not that it was unfounded. I just saw this girl split in two with my own eyes.
ああ、でも先輩、茶道部については疑問があるというか、質問があるというか。
What, the tea ceremony club?
前に部員はいないって言ってましたけど、この学校、初めから茶道部そのものがないんじゃないですか。
I mean, it probably existed, just like years ago. It's probably been a like delinquent club for a while.
もしかして本当になかった。じゃあ茶道室は先輩が作った、いや、学校側に作らせた謎の空き教室なんですか。
さあ、私には点でわからないお話みたいです。
Why the tea ceremony club, though? Ciel suddenly becomes very interested in something outside the window.
いいけど別に。どんな悪さをしても先輩は根っからの悪人じゃないし、誰にも迷惑をかけてないんだろうし。
Like, it's not entirely inconspicuous, but it's not super outlandish either. It's just kind of... It's not a flashy club, but it's a very particular kind of club.
でも先輩の暗示ってそんなことまでできちゃうんですか。
You know, given the glasses get up, if it was like, oh yeah, Ciel's in the literature club or something, it'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
ですから、
But there's
トーナ
probably an
君の
active
お話
literature
は
club too
点
that
で
she
わ
could
から
have
ないの
just,
で
you
お
know,
答えでき
worm
ま
her way
せん。
into. I stare at her intently. A minute passes in an uncomfortable silence.
割としつこいんですね、トーナ君。
別に先輩の目って青いんだなって見てただけですよ。
Yes, what kind of mysteries lurk in them? Deep as the sea, boundless as the sky. And perhaps the answer to my question lies in there somewhere, so I will keep searching.
言っておきますが、暗示というものはそんなに都合のいいものじゃないんですよ。
I'll
人
go
を
back
言
and
い
read
な
that
りに
line
な
I
んか
skipped.
できませんし、
That was
無理
my
難
bad.
題を通すこともできません。
I was distracted in my own poetry there. With a defeated sigh, Ciel finally gives in.
暗示とは物事の捉え方を変えるのではなくそらすというのが大前提なんです。
Yeah, you just nudge people in the right direction.
私がいくら遠野くんはカレーが大好きと言い聞かせても遠野くん本人がカレーが大嫌いならその暗示は成立しません。
あれ、そうなんですか。じゃあ本人が嫌がっていることは無効化される。
はい、
Mhm.
まあそれでも遠野くんにカレーを食べてもらう方法はいくらでもありますけどね。例えば大好きだから食べるというのではなく食べなければ死んでしまうと暗示をかければ。
Yeah, it's like programming. You just gotta word things the right way to get it to work.
大嫌いでも食べるしかないですね。
You get around the likes and dislikes. Like,
やっぱり何でもできるじゃないです
I
か。
was gonna say integer, but that's not right. It's been too long since I've done any programming that I forget all the proper terms.
だから何でもじゃありませんってば。
Yeah, you can't brute force it. You need to get creative.
そういった意味のすげ替えはとても難しいんです。きちんと舞台を整えてよっぽどうまいストーリーを作らないとかかってくれません。暗示にかかりにくい人も大勢いますし、
Mhm.
私にできることなんて私を疑問に思わないという暗示ぐらいです。
Ah, that's right. Miss Noel brought this up before. She said that Ciel had cast a spell on everyone at school. Something about convincing them that an unfamiliar third year had actually been here all along. I mean, from everyone else's perspective, it's not entirely impossible. For something like in a school setting, just for the first years, that's easy. Just, oh, different year, first and second years, so like, oh, guess I just never knew about them. And then for all the other third years, just be like, oh, they must have been in different classes the entire other 2 years. And then, you know, there's just people in your class that blend into the background that you never really pay much mind to. In that case, Ciel's reputation as the true student council president must have been honestly earned. It has nothing to do with magecraft and everything to do with her willingness to lend anyone a helping hand.
とそろそろ時間ですね。
So how long have you been, you know, in deep cover, so to say, here at the school? Did you only show up, you know, at the beginning when we kind of met you on that
ま
train?
た昼
Or
休みに来ますけど、
have you been here for like a
体の
couple
方は
weeks, a
大
couple
丈夫で
months,
すか？
laying the groundwork?
今朝は随分と顔色が悪いようですが。
はい。
I guess it would only be right after it started, because that's when she put the little spell on Shiki, unless he just so happened to be the last one she got around to. I look pale? Oh, that's odd. I feel like $1 million.
大丈夫ですよ。ちょっと寝すぎたのか、体がだるいだけで。
I feel like you'd be pale if you underslept.
そうですか。頭痛の方はどうです？
Oh, mind splitting, like conscious rending.
そっ
Like
ち
they're
は
terrible.
相変わらずかな。でも今朝は調子がいいです。そもそも少しぐらい痛くてもメガネをかけていれば問題はありません。
そうですか。それを聞いて安心しました。でも油断は禁物ですよ。事件は解決しましたが何があるか分かりませんから。とい
Yeah, I was
う
about
わ
to
けで
say,
携帯を出してください。
we should get your phone number
携帯です
in
か？
case of emergencies. I take my phone out of my pocket. Then, with a shock, I see Ciel take hers out too. Could it be?
はい。これが私のメールアドレスと電話番号です。
Yes!
よかったら遠野くんのアドレスも教えてくれますか？大事な話はメールや電話の方がいいと思います。
I mean, these are Japanese phones, so we can do the RF transfer thing where we just bump them up against each other and we, like, trade contacts.
あ、はい、もちろん。
Which, to my surprise, like, a lot of, like, phones just have that feature. It's just an option you need to turn on. It's just at least no one in the US I've ever seen use that. Probably because they don't even know it exists. Same, well, I was about to say same with like European phones, but then again, I don't have much exposure to those, so I can't really say. But in pop culture and in media, I've only ever seen it being used in a Japanese setting. Though to be fair, I'd imagine like places like South Korea and China use that technology too. It's more common over there.
ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。
My heart races as I fiddle for my phone. Fiddle with my phone. Must look incredibly lame. But I'm just a small town boy at heart. I'm not used to this kind of thing.
はい、確かにいただきました。それじゃあ何かおかしなことがあったら遠慮なく相談してください。
With one last dazzling smile, Ciel heads down the stairs. I watch her go, savoring the afterglow of her conversation. I'm still basking in my euphoria when the bell rings for second period. By the end of fourth period, the classroom is abuzz. It's about to be lunch, of course, but that's the least of it. The main reason is the surprise announcement that Mr. Oh my god. Kamokashigura. That's a mouthful. The physics teacher just dropped on us. Kamokashigura.
連絡があるのを忘れていました。
Yeah, Miss Noel's dead.
今日の授業は私でおしまいです。校舎に欠陥が発見されたので、午後は工事のための調査が入ります。皆さんはこのまま午後2時までに下校するように。食堂は1時まで空いていますので、定期食券を持っている生徒の方は利用しても構いません。ではでは。
Nice! Apparently, parts of the school building are sinking. I was concerned at first that might have something to do with Roa's old hideout, but he's no longer a danger. I mean, it might be if they literally dug out an underground fucking cavern underneath the school. They could have literally undermined part of the foundation and have caused it to sink a bit. Though that seems like something a guy who's been around the block as much as Roa would have thought about before, you know, just busting out the jackhammer and pickaxe to start like digging tunnels underneath the city. Besides, if that were the cause, I'm sure Ciel would be doing something about it. Odds are, it's of no concern of ours. A dozen or so students are still hanging around the classroom, trying to figure out how to spend their afternoon. Naturally, I'm one of them. Should I wait for Ciel here, or should I head to the tea ceremony room? Or should I take advantage of that newly acquired phone number? Our class's very own Sleeping Beauty, fresh from a morning spent slumped across his desk, approaches me with an ominous grin.
皆まで言うな。遊びに行こう、殿。
Are we gonna go to the park and go to that cool food cart that shows up? Is it an Oden
今日
one?
は
I
えら
think
く
it
スト
is.
レートに来たな。
Or is it a
何か
ramen
嫌な
cart? Or
こと
is it
で
a
もあったの
ramen
か、
cart that
お
also
前。
sells Oden? I can't remember off the top of my head.
別に今日はわけもなく親友と遊びに行きたくなっただけだぜ。
He couldn't be more suspect if he tried. Whether he's in dire financial straits or just needs someone to be his guinea pig, he's obviously got some ulterior motive.
お断りだ。どうせ約束をすっぽかされたかなんかだろう。今日は先輩と帰るんだから、お前の愚痴に付き合ってやる余裕はないよ。
先輩先輩ってシエル先
Hey,
輩
there we go. She's recast her spell.
そうだけど、アリヒコ、お前先輩のことを覚えてるのか？
何ですかそれは。先輩は俺の大本命だぞ。忘れるわけないでしょうが。
He says it so confidently, you'd never think he once did. I guess that makes sense. Now that Ciel's returned, everything's back to the way it was. This guy included. Though according to Ciel's explanation, it seems like that would fall outside the scope of her spell.
あ、先輩だ。やっほー。
Arihiko waves Ciel over.
お待たせしました、遠野くん。乾くんもこんにちは。
Ciel gives a polite bow.
予定が変わってしまいましたけど、どうします？
Yeah, Arihiko, you should get a sidecar for your motorcycle so that way all three of us can, like, ride together. Like, obviously, Shiki has to, like, fucking sit in the sidecar with his knees pushed up against his chest while, you know, the soft Ciel senpai is pushed close against your back, holding on. But, you know, clearly, Clearly, that can never happen. Seems we've had an unexpected turn of events.
遠野くんはお家に帰りますか？それとも茶道室に寄っていきます？
茶道室に行きます。このまま帰ると正門でお別れになるし、今日はもっと先輩と話がしたいから、茶
Damn,
道
you guys
室
trying
でゆ
to
っく
kill
りお茶
Arihiko?
を。
Just flirting so blatantly in front of him? Was he throttling you like fucking Bart? Someone grabs my shoulders and shakes me back and forth.
こんにちは。起きてますか？
It's Arihiko, of course.
なんだよアリヒコ、まだいたのか。
Could you like leave?
ずっとてめえの目の前にいたっつうの。
Now, nothing's worse than when someone thinks
覚醒したっつうの。
they're your friend and they're just hanging around with you even though you don't care about them whatsoever. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. Can you buzz off?
そのあれだ、あんまりこういうのに口出しする趣味はねえが、今のはあんまりにもあれだったんで口出しする。
Arihiko glares at me, then at Ciel. Ciel and I share a quick glance.
あのね、君たち、せっかくの反動をどうしてそういう風にしか使えねえんだ
Okay,
よ。
that's fair.
茶道室に寄っていくとか正気を失う、いや疑うレベルだからな。
Two plain fucking wafers sitting together in the club room. No flavor at all between the two of them.
ここは人口出力
Not even like a vanilla
21世紀の東京だぜ。もっとマシな遊び場はあそこに山ほど転がってるだろうが。
Is Soya like a... I guess in this world, because Soya probably doesn't exist. Kind of like how Yuki is just Kobe. I forget what city, you know, this place is based off of, but is it part of like the Tokyo metropolitan area? Arihiko gestures theatrically to the window,
えっと、
which makes me want to
どこで
fucking
しょうか？
strangle Shiki even more. He's like, oh, I'm just such a small town boy. You know, this little city, it's not that big, but it's still out in the boonies. And it's like, dude, you literally fucking live in Tokyo. What are you talking about?
窓の外は
You see in the anime a lot, just like the
要するに
Japanese
外だ
mindset of what constitutes small town. And it's like, oh yeah, we have a financial district with a bustling downtown and skyscrapers, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, unless it's something like Nyonburi, where literally the conceit of it is like, this is the fucking boonies, or something like Silver Spoon. I offhandedly answer on Arihiko's behalf. Apparently, that was a mistake, because Arihiko launches right into another rant.
遠野、お前がそんなだから先輩までボケちまってんのさ。まだ昼なんだぞ。駅前なんて徒歩10分なんだ。ついでに俺たちは学生なんだぞ。
Yeah, hit the town.
これだけの条件が揃っていて、どうして街で遊びまくる企画力がねえんだよ、お前は。
How dense can he be? Obviously, that's crossed my mind. I just hadn't suggested it because... I steal a glance at Ciel. She seems to be the type to enjoy a casual stroll around the park or over some extravagant outing in town. I'm sure that if I suggested something like that, she'd just turn me down.
乾くんの意見はもっともです。遠野くんへのご褒美もありますし、せっかくなので3人で遊びに行きましょうか。
Hooray!
待ってて。
Yeah, you get the third wheel. Good for you, Arihiko.
いいじゃないですか。たまにはこういうのも。もう何も気兼ねをする必要もないんですし、遠野くんと乾くんと3人で遊びに行くんならきっと楽しいです。
How much money you got in the Ciel? On top of that, what's your salary like? What do you get paid
ま
for
あ
being an executor?
先輩がいい
I'd
って言う
imagine
なら
it's
俺
a
も嬉しいけど
decent salary. Like, not extravagant, but you probably...
はい、
Like I've talked about before,
Inai
she
kun
probably
mo
has
ii
to
desu yo
submit
ne?
like travel work vouchers for like expenses to get reimbursed. They probably give her like a housing and food stipend for wherever she's assigned, on top of like her base pay. I have no earthly idea what that expression is supposed to convey. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like that's quite the look.
それじゃあ決まりですね。
It's almost pleading, happy.
お二人ともお昼ご飯はどうします？お家で食べてくるか、それとも3人で一緒に食べましょうか。
いや、それは学校でいつもやってるし、外食する分の金は遊びに回そう。俺もアリヒコもあんまり持ってないし。なあ、アリヒコ。
俺、姉貴に金借りてもいいかも。
Never want to be in that situation, bud. Or not. Looks like he's got his heart set on lunch with Ciel.
先輩はなんか外で食べに行きたいところとかある？
Yeah, as the eldest, it's your job to treat.
食べに行
Which
きたい
unfortunately
とこ
falls to
ろ
me a lot
です
now
か。
whenever I'm on
特にリクエストはありませんけ
outings.
ど、そうですね。あまり値段が高いところ
That's,
は
that's the real reason I need this promotion, man. Just so I can afford the fucking drinks, the drinks and the lunch when I have to take people out.
そっか、人よりいっぱい食べるもんな、先輩。そりゃお金がかかるか。
Well, lunch?
違います。なんてことを言うんですか、遠野くんは。
Well, how else do you maintain that figure? The data I've collected during my time in the tea ceremony club would speak for itself, but it's probably wiser to let this drop.
いいです。私も乾くんに賛成です。今から3人でお昼ご飯を食べに行きましょう。映画館の横にある喫茶店のインド風パイが美味しいと聞いて、いつか行こうと決めていたんです。
Sounds good. Maybe I'll
アー
order
ネン
Indian
エル
for
ブとは
lunch
通
after
だね
this.
先輩。あの喫茶店のマスター、どこぞのイタリア料理の達人らしいぜ。
They also bake great berry pies. How is Arihiko so up to date with the latest gastronomical gossip?
それでは映画館の前に30分後に集合としましょう。
Look, Arihiko's the kind of guy to keep like a Rolodex of like food places to take girls out on dates to.
いいですね、遠野くん。
He's like the friend you phone up in Tsukihime Memorial. You get date spot and locations unlocked and look at the girl's affection chart.
いや、先輩。俺、家に帰るのに30分かかるんだけ
You
ど。
also need to call him to get their phone numbers in order to call them, which is a little strange, but hey man, it was the 90s. You can just get cold called by people you know, and it would be okay.
それでは解散です。遅刻者は食後のデザートを振る舞う系にします。
Ciel strides off towards the hallway.
おーし、盛り上がってきたなトロ。シエル先輩と親密になるチャンスは
Oh,
今、
I'm sure.
ただ今なり。ところで、いっそ1日ぐらい遅れてくれても構わないですよ。
Yeah, a whole day. We'll miss right in our planner for next week. With that, Arihiko dashes out of the classroom. Things have quickly gotten out of hand.
いいか。
I'm still getting to spend my afternoon with Ciel. In that sense, I'm luckier than I have any right to be. I pick up my bag and follow Arihiko out of the classroom. Huffing and puffing, I arrive at the bottom of the hill. It took 50 minutes to get here from school. I've obliterated my previous record, but it's still nowhere near enough. Yeah, you don't really seem like a very good runner. Oh god, it was an uphill run too. Ugh. 5 minutes later, by running myself ragged, I managed to get home in 20 minutes. But it'll easily take me 20 more minutes to get ready and make it back to the station. Ciel knows I live on top of a hill. She definitely did this on purpose.
ああ、もう。時々思い出したように意地悪になるんだから、先輩は。
Quick, See if Kohaku's home and if she can drive you. Beat them all. I tumble into the lobby and finally come to a stop. With my shoulders heaving, I slow myself to a fast walk. I don't think my heart can take much more. Besides, it's poor manners to run indoors.
シキ様、お帰りになられたのですか?
Hey, the school's unsafe for human habitation, so we got let out early.
ただいま、今帰ってきた。すぐに出かけるから昼飯は用意しなくていいよ。
I greet Hisui as she emerges from the parlor and head up the stairs. Throb. Throb. Suddenly, without a hint of warning. Throb. My vision turns blood red. Oh! Down the stairs he goes. Ooh, that sounded like a nasty tumble.
シキ様!
I can just make out Hisui's voice, followed by the muffled patter of footsteps on carpet. Oh, she's far more flustered than I'd expect based on her usual demeanor.
シキ様! お怪我はありませんか?
Oh, well, if you see someone ragdoll down the stairs, it looks bad. Like you're like, ooh, fuck. I hear a voice by my ear, but I can't see its source. Skull-shattering agony is all I know. Yeah, because you just fell down the stairs, and those look like hard stairs, too. Like, sure, they got the carpet lining there, but it's not like a plush, soft carpet. That's the type of, like, hard... I won't say hard, because it's probably quite... I don't want to say it's soft either. You know what I mean? It's not like a stiff, cheap kind of nylon carpet, but it's also an actual, real fabric carpet, so it's probably got some little soft cushion to it, but not like a carpet you'd have in your regular home or something.
落ち着いて、翡翠ちゃん。階段から落ちた怪我は軽い打撲だけよ。お医者様を呼ぶほ
Yeah,
どの
it's
ものじ
better
ゃ
that
な
he
いわ。
went down entirely limp like that, you know.
それより危ないのは体の熱です。階段を踏み外したのも熱のせいでしょうから、すぐ。はい。姉さん、このことは明葉様には。
Maybe.
このまま大事がなければお知らせする必要はありません。
Yeah, we'll deal with it when she gets home.
解熱剤は私の部屋にあるからお願い。
Oh god, not the suppository. Isui's footsteps recede into the distance.
四季さん、気がつかれました？
紅白。
Nah, I just ate shit down those steep-ass stairs.
はい。四季さん、階段から転がってきたんですよ。背中を軽く打ってしまわれましたが、幸い大事はありません。
A fall like that would fucking put me in bed for like 3 days straight now
です
that
が
I'm old.
熱が終わりのようですね。お出かけの予定かと存じますが、どうか今日はこのままお休みください。
Kawaku takes hold of my shoulders and helps me to my feet.
いや、大丈夫。休まなくてもすぐ収まります。
I also
こ
like
こま
that
で
these
全
old
力で走
stairs
ったか
have
ら息が上がってる
the
だけで。
bar across the bottom of them to keep the carpet like pulled up close against the base of the stairs. That way you don't trip on them or something.
いけません。そんな青い顔をして何をおっしゃっているんですか。
But they're also
四
like
季さんのお
tucked
体を
tight
見るものと
underneath
し
the
て、これ以上の無
underneath
茶
the
は
lip
させられま
there.
せん。
So I wonder if they're like tacked in too, or if the carpet's just been sitting there for so long that it has like a natural bend to it, where it's kind of form-fitting.
でも、
Or if they did like a
いや、そうか。
steam treatment to kind of mold it into shape.
お断りの連絡でしたら引き受けます。あんまり無茶するようでしたら、お注射の出番ですから。
Kohaku adjusts her stance, ready to stop me by whatever means necessary. Who knows? Maybe they can come visit, you know, bring you some lunch, and you can have a little pity party in your bedroom upstairs. I hear my skull splitting apart. She's in my way. No. She's right. She's right. But, ladies and gents, this is where we'll stop this part for today, our forward advancement, and now we will be returning to the past in order to get our dead end for day 11. Dead end 13, I think? Or was it 12? I can't remember. Or was it even dead end 11? Well, anyway, it'll involve some time travel, but this seems like a good place to stop, so I'll pause my recording here, go back, reload, and advance to day 11, which was yesterday in game, and we'll somehow get a bad end, which I'm curious to see what it'll be. So I will see you guys in a quick sec. All right, all the way back to day 9, so 3 days in the past. Yeah, I'll take the less effective one that hurts for the last.
痛くて効かないもの。
We're built different like that. They say if it tastes bad, it must be good for you. But this injection is the opposite. My curiosity is piqued.
え、本当？こっち使っていいの？こんなのんけの美少年に？
She's like, oh yeah, let's go. No one ever chooses this one.
私持ってる。間違いなくサソリ座の女の運勢来ちゃってる。局地的な
Oh
自信を
god,
起
you're
こしちゃう。
Scorpio?
だってほら、
Oh.
もう体のバイブスマックスだし。
Yeah, she's certainly hella vibing. I can hear it.
ああ、でもさすがにトシちゃんに悪いか。
Aw.
やっぱり普通のにしとかない？予防接種は大事だけど、
No.
私の場合やりす
Anything
ぎ
for
る
the
と
bit.
大元になっちゃうし。
All about fucking bit gags here. Let's do it.
ええ、そう。
Nothing's
今ならまだ間に
funnier
合う
than
わ。
physical comedy,
気を
so hit us with that
つけて
big old
ボタン
injection.
外して急いで洗濯をやり直してなんて好きやりもらった
Yeah! Haha! She moves lightning fast. Disinfect. Stab. Inject. Smile. Youch. Professor Rock finishes the vaccination in 10 seconds flat. Ah! You hit us with one of those, huh? Just hit us with a dead apostle booster, huh? Okay. Then she puts the apparatus, which doesn't look like your average single-use syringe, into a case with a strange design.
でどうだった
Bro, Akia's gonna fucking kill you.
あまりの痛みに腰抜けちゃったチキちゃんのバージン奪っちゃったよちよち一人で立てまちぇんかならそこのベッドまで連れて行ってあげまちゅね
Oh, don't take advantage of us in there.
その後は悪いところを取り出す手術とかやっちゃう麻酔なしのゴリッゴリのオペレーションになっちゃうけど
Yeah, just a big old strap of leather or wood to bite on down. That's your anesthetic. Dr. Rock reaches her hands towards me, her fingers wriggling and writhing. But how do I put this?
全然痛くなかったです。
Well, yeah, it's because you're not full dead apostle yet. Don't have real vampirism, so it's not doing the whole bodily transformation thing. I braced myself for the pain, but none came. The only thing that hurt was Professor Rock's incessant babbling.
嘘あ、本当だ脈も瞳孔も異常なしなんて当たり前だっつーのだって今のインフルエンザの予防接種じゃなくてただの栄養剤だから私特製のビタミン剤を食らうといいのだわ
Like, doesn't shit like that need to get approved by like a medical board or something?
なんだってそんなことを。
You can't just inject people with random stuff.
だってしきちゃんここのところ精力的に活動してるんでしょなら体力はつけておかないとどうせもう予防接種なんて間に合わないんだし
Yeah, after you got that thing, it's what an odd thing to say. But just about to ask her to clarify.
残念時間切れ次の子が来ちゃったわ
Surprised, I look at the clock. Almost 7 minutes have gone by since I sat down. Everyone before me only took about 3 minutes, So it makes sense that the next student would come in. I fix my clothes and leave the nurse's office, as I do.
それじゃあね、当のしきくん。どうなるか楽しみにしていたけど、まあ、失敗することにも意味はあるものね。
Her strange remark stops me in my tracks. But only for a second. This has to be more of her usual crazy talk. On the other side of the curtain, Professor Rock's long hair sways like a spider hanging from its web. Yeah, we know. We get it. We get it. She's like a spider. Her whole thing is spider motifs. We get it. We get it. Yeah, we're just gonna have to skip forward through all these. I won't even cut it out because we're gonna be going so fast here. Where were we? Day 9. Try to keep it cool. Yeah, well, hate you, Ark. Fucking, she's crashing out. No, because we're just gonna go get a dead end. Day 10, yada yada yada. Oh god, there's a lot of choices on this one. Yeah, focus on Ciel. You'll always... You're a perfect 10, because that's what we chose last time. Bring it up now. Since we did all these before, what happens if we just go straight into Arcuid? Okay, it just skips those other ones. Can't let her go alone. There we go. Now we're on to day 11, and now we'll get our dead end. No saves. Ooh, epilogue lined through. How interesting. I awaken earlier than expected. The result of unwelcome interference, most likely. I clasp my hand around my right tricep and squeeze the blood vessels inside. It might have hurt if I were human, but it doesn't. It might have helped if help were needed, but it no longer is. That mad woman needs to stop meddling. She only ever seems to stick her nose in where it isn't wanted. It's past midnight. Delightfully dreadful screams reverberate from the city. My flesh, my heart, my soul craves nourishment. I didn't even leave myself a snack on the bedside table. I must really be losing my touch. After sourcing food from the streets, I retreat to the rooftops to consume it. Ooh, kind of like how a cheetah gets a gazelle, then eats it up in the trees. It's nice to be so close to the sky. If I have to content myself with such base fare, I'd at least like to dine with a view. The voices of an audience rise from below. From the edge of the roof, I watch the play unfold. Yeah. That's all the same. It's nothing worthy of note. A vampire with scarlet hair has cornered 6 humans in an alleyway. Rank is surprisingly high for someone so freshly turned. Rank 6, a lesser dead apostle. She's powerful enough, but clearly inexperienced. Those 6 victims will soon become exponentially more. It's like watching a predator toy with its prey, savoring their suffering to feed its sadism. Further evidence that this common rabble cannot be trusted with this kind of power. Invariably, they get carried away, devouring everything in sight when a single meal would do. Or that's all the same. Perhaps it's because I've just woken them up myself. But I catch myself smiling as I look on. I suppose I'm not so different to be eating dinner in the same place. Given my self-deprecating mood, I may as well indulge in a little nostalgia. Once I was very much like her, in another time and another life. In my naivety, I opened my church to all, cultivating my own disciples as many dead apostles do. Of course, anyone who understood my ideals would not have sought such a flawed conception of immortality as apostlehood. I had little objection to knightkin or lower. However, the advent of believers of the 5th, and even the 6th rank, with their supposed autonomy, filled me with the greatest rage and disappointment I'd ever known. It's like, oh god, the fucking minions are unionizing. In the end, I erased their stain myself before my pale executioner could rob me of the chance. Oh god. Ignominious, okay. As ignominious as that life was, I look back on it now with an odd fondness. I think I find the nights in the city agreeable. As proof of that...
助けて助けて
なんで
The voice within me has nothing to say about the gruesome display. His body belongs to me now. Shikitano has fallen asleep, never to wake again. On my way home, I stopped to look at the sky. The moon above is pasted over the stars. An unchanging spectacle, no matter whose eyes I see it through. Now, I have a promise to keep, a banquet to hold. This celestial egg, this testament to eternity, to give thanks to you, my great lord. I will install my own pantheon. Womp womp. End. Alright, Ciel Sensei, what do you got to say about this one? Like, maybe don't take random injections strange women offer you, even if they do have their tits out and look real good.
こんにちは。また随分とレアなバッドエンドを迎えましたね。あれ？特に選択肢を選んでいないのにバッドエンドになっちゃった。
Because you made the choice a long time ago.
と、
Multiple
首を
hours
かしげ
ago.
る遠
Hope
野
you're
くんをお
saving.
助けする Q&A コーナー。教えて、シエル先生への時間です。今回の原因はズバリ9日目にありま
What
す。
are you doing over there, Ark? You like building a pipe bomb in your desk?
物語に影響を及ぼさない選択肢のようで、実は猛毒が仕込まれていたというケースです。予防接種を受けるときは細心の注意を。
Can't be trusted.
なんか面白そうだからで危ない注射を打たれてはいけませんよ。
Even if the first hit's free?
さっきから静かですけど何やってるんですか？
Yeah, no arts and crafts during class.
アンケート書いてるとこ、不具合の報告。
Yeah, I got a bullshit dead end.
ほ
Clearly the
ら、
flags
本
are
編で
tripping
ヒロインが出な
incorrectly.
くなってから丸々2日っしょ。
Oh, talking about
こんな状態が続くとメガネ君のモチベにも影響するしさ。早くパッチ当ててもらわないとね。9日目のシエル vs アルクの時、アルクと一緒にシエルを倒すルートをくださいと。
その心配は無用です。ヒロイン出ずっぱりですから。でも8日目の夜の選択肢は
Maybe in the
確かに
remake.
重
We're in the
要です
remake.
ね。運命の
Sure,
分
this is your
岐
route,
と言
Ciel.
っても
Don't
過
worry
言
about
ではありません。私はどうかと思いますけど、アルクエイドが街を守ったのは事実ですし、遠野くんが心の底から、私は本当どうかと思いますけど、アルクエイドを信じるのなら彼女寄りの選択をするのも一つの正解かと。もっともその結果街がどうなるか保証はしませんのであしからず。これに関しては以上です。私忠告はしましたから。
マジか、
Appreciate the warning.
8日目からやり直す。せっかくだからそっちを選ぶぜ。
Just stole the TV. Is Neko Arc Romanian? Few hours later.
ほら、だから言ったでしょ。
誰がここまでやれと言った。
Oh. Well, that's rather ominous. But, ladies and gents, that is where we'll be ending it here for today. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and the notification bell. Check out the Discord in the description down below. And I will see you guys all next time for the continuation of Ciel's route, which we're getting in there. Only a couple days left. You know, we're on day 12. Route ends on day 14. So, and then there's that blog after that. But we're in the thick of it, you know. But the end's in sight. You know, give it like another week, and fuck, we might be done. Which means I'll need to decide on what I'm gonna be doing next. But that'll be an issue for future me to work on. So, I've already said my outro, so I'll let you guys go now. Catch you guys later. Bye bye.